in the glittering heart of New York's Waldorf Astoria. Barack Obama publicly castrated Donald Trump in front of the entire world. With a cold, mocking smile, Obama was about to rip the mask off Trump's carefully crafted family fairy tale and expose the ugly truth hiding behind it, that the tall, quiet teenager known as Barron Trump wasn't Donald's son at all, and the proof was about to destroy the Trump empire in real time. This was the biggest charity gala of the year, a black-tie event meant to raise millions for children's hospitals and global health programs. On paper, it was a night for unity, generosity, and good causes. But tonight, the air felt completely different. From the moment people walked in, the tension was thick. Donald Trump sat at the center table with his family, leaning back like he owned the place, while Barron sat quietly beside him, tall and serious. Then Barack Obama walked straight to the podium without a single hello or thank you. He didn't smile. He didn't wave. He just lifted his tablet and tapped the screen. A giant medical ledger from spring 2006 flashed across the massive screens behind him. The yellowed pages were crystal clear under the bright lights. Gasps rippled through the room. People stopped eating. Servers froze in the doorways. Obama looked right at Trump's table and spoke in that calm, steady voice everyone knew too well. For years, the public has been told one story about Barron Trump's birth. Tonight, we're looking at the records that tell a different one. He zoomed in on the document. This hospital ledger shows a birth that doesn't line up with the official timeline. The names, the dates, the signatures, none of it matches what America was told. Obama pointed out the doctor's clear signature and the unique patient code printed at the top. These aren't copies. These are originals from a private clinic, and they tell us Barron's story started somewhere else, with different people than we've been led to believe. The room got so quiet you could hear the cameras clicking. Obama didn't stop. He kept laying out the facts, simple and direct, like he was talking to regular people at a town hall. Every word landed hard because everyone could see the proof right there on the screens. Trump's usual smirk started to fade. He shifted in his seat but tried to act like it was nothing. Then Obama dropped the bomb that made the whole place explode. I'm not up here alone with old papers. There's a retired doctor from that exact clinic sitting backstage right now. He's ready to come out and tell you everything on live camera. No scripts, no lawyers in the way. The crowd lost it. People stood up. Whispers turned into loud talking. Some guests clapped. Others looked shocked. Phones shot up everywhere trying to capture the moment. Obama kept his eyes locked on the Trump table. This man delivered the baby himself. He signed that ledger. And he's willing to swear under oath tonight that the official story we've all heard for years is not the truth. The retired doctor's name appeared on the screen with his medical license number. The tension in the ballroom jumped 10 levels higher. This wasn't some political speech anymore. It was a trap snapping shut in real time. Trump let out a short laugh and shook his head, trying to play it cool like he always did. But his face looked tighter than usual. Across from him, Barron sat completely still at first. Then, as Obama repeated the exact dates from April 2006, something shifted in the young man's eyes. His shoulders tensed. He glanced at his father, then back at the giant screen showing the hospital records. Then Obama stepped down from the podium and walked straight toward the Trump family table like a man on a mission. The entire ballroom went dead silent. Every head turned to follow him. He moved past tables full of shocked guests until he stopped right next to Donald Trump, standing less than 2 feet away. No podium, no distance, just face-to-face under the bright lights with cameras rolling live. Trump looked up, jaw tight, eyes narrowed. Obama leaned in slightly, his voice low but clear enough for the microphones to catch every word. "The games are over, Donald. You have 14 seconds to decide. Right here, right now, a medical team will take a simple DNA swab from Barron. Or federal agents at every door will take you into custody on live television. Forgery of official documents, concealing the identity of a child. Those are real felony charges." The room sucked in a collective breath. Obama didn't blink. 14 seconds, Donald. Needle or handcuffs, your choice. Before Trump could answer, a doctor in a white coat walked out from the side holding a small DNA test kit. The crowd stirred again. Trump shot up halfway from his chair and reached out to block the doctor. "Don't you touch him," he growled. But Barron suddenly pushed his chair back with a loud scrape. He stood tall, towering over the table, and yanked his arm away from his father's reach. For the first time, Barron spoke loud and clear into the microphones. "I want the truth tonight." His voice carried across the ballroom. People leaned forward in their seats. Melania sat frozen like a statue, eyes staring straight ahead, not moving, not speaking, not even looking at her husband. She looked like someone who had known this moment was coming for years. A few seats down, Ivanka jumped up fast, trying to slip toward the side exit. 2 Secret Service agents stepped in front of her immediately, blocking the path. She froze in place. Obama turned his attention straight to her. His voice stayed calm but cut like a knife. "Ivanka, was Barron your son, born in that private clinic in Switzerland in 2006? The question hit the room like a bomb. Ivanka's face went white. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. Her legs buckled slightly, and she grabbed the back of her chair to keep from falling. Then she looked at Barron. It wasn't the look of a big sister. It was the raw, terrified stare of a mother who had just been exposed in front of the whole world. Her eyes were wide, panicked, full of fear and guilt that no one could mistake. Then Barron pushed his chair back hard, the legs scraping loud against the marble floor. He rose to his full height, clearly taller than both men standing in front of him. Without saying a word at first, he stepped right into the narrow space between Obama and his father. The camera zoomed in tight. The whole ballroom seemed to lean forward at once. For the first time, the quiet kid in the background was front and center, and he wasn't backing down. "I've wondered about this stuff for years," Barron said, his deep voice carrying through the microphones. "The way I look in the mirror doesn't match the family pictures. I'm taller than everyone. My face, it doesn't fit. And Ivanka, she's always looked at me different. Not like a sister, like she's hiding something and scared I might figure it out. I used to tell myself it was nothing, but tonight I'm done pretending." The room was completely still. Trump reached out like he wanted to pull his son back, but Barron stepped away from his hand. Obama stood quiet, letting the young man speak. Barron's eyes moved from his father to Ivanka, who was still gripping the chair, her face pale and broken. "I need more proof," Barron said, turning to Obama. "Show me something real, not just papers. I want to see it for myself." Obama nodded and raised his tablet again. A new image filled the giant screens. It was an old email from 2006, sent from Ivanka's private account to the Swiss clinic. The date, the time, and the words were crystal clear. Arrangements for a private delivery, instructions for total secrecy, and a wire transfer confirmation. The email had been recovered by the federal grand jury. "That email was recovered legally," Obama said simply. "It's been verified." Barron stared at the screen for a long moment. His shoulders rose and fell as he breathed harder. Then he turned slowly and looked straight at Donald Trump. His voice cracked just a little, but he kept going. "If she's really my sister, why does she look at me like she's scared I'll remember? Like she's terrified I'll put the pieces together? Tell me the truth, Dad. Right now." The words hit Trump hard. For once, he didn't have a quick comeback. His face flushed red and his mouth opened, but nothing came out. Barron's eyes were locked on him, full of hurt and years of confusion. Melania still hadn't moved or spoken. Ivanka looked like she might actually faint. The emotional weight in the room was crushing. Some guests had tears in their eyes. Others whispered prayers or curses under their breath. Barron took a deep breath and turned toward the doctor waiting nearby. He rolled up his sleeve without being asked. "I'm ready," he said clearly. "Take the sample. Let's end this tonight." The doctor stepped forward, swab kit in hand. The entire ballroom held its breath. No one moved. Barron stood tall between the 2 most powerful men in the room, arm out, eyes steady, finally demanding the truth that had been kept from him his entire life. The doctor swabbed the inside of his cheek quickly and cleanly. He sealed the sample right there under the lights. Just as the doctor finished sealing the swab, Trump exploded forward. He lunged across the table and grabbed Barron's arm with a steel grip, yanking him back hard. His face was inches from his son's ear as he hissed in a low, furious whisper that the microphone still picked up. "They will kill us all if this comes out. You hear me? They will destroy every single one of us. Don't do this." Barron froze for a second, the words hitting him like a punch. Trump didn't let go. His fingers dug in tighter as he kept talking fast and desperate. "Your real mother signed papers back then, papers that can destroy her life if they get out. She gave up everything to protect you. You want to throw that away right now in front of all these cameras?" Barron's face twisted with doubt. He looked torn, eyes darting between his father and the doctor holding the test kit. The hesitation was clear. The strong, determined young man from a minute ago suddenly looked like a kid again, caught between everything he thought he knew and the fear Trump was pouring into him. Then Ivanka finally broke her silence. Her voice came out shaky and weak, barely above a whisper at first. "It wasn't like that. I was young, I didn't know what to do. Barron, I tried to protect you, we all did. This isn't what it looks like." Melania cut her off with one cold, sharp sentence, the first word she had spoken all night. "Stop lying to the boy, Ivanka." The room went into shock. Ivanka's mouth hung open, tears starting to spill down her face. Trump's grip on Barron's arm stayed locked, but his face had gone from red to a dangerous shade of purple. The tension felt like it was about to snap the air in half. Suddenly, Barron had enough. He jerked his arm back with all his strength, ripping free from Trump's hand so hard that his father stumbled. "I said I want the test," Barron shouted, his deep voice booming through the ballroom. "I'm done with the lies. Give me the damn test." In the chaos, Trump knocked over a full glass of red wine. It shattered on the floor, splashing across the white tablecloth and onto Melania's dress. People gasped and stood up. Trump's security guys rushed forward, trying to push the medical team back. Obama's Secret Service agents stepped in immediately, creating a tense standoff with shoulders bumping and voices rising. Two men almost came to blows before they were pulled apart. Barron stood in the middle of it all, breathing hard, his sleeve still rolled up and his eyes blazing with anger. The elegant gala had turned into pure bedlam. Shouts echoed off the walls. Cameras flashed nonstop. Trump saw the moment slipping away. In one sudden move, he grabbed Barron by the back of his jacket and yanked him hard toward the side of the room. "We're leaving," he growled. They pushed through a heavy velvet curtain into the narrow service hallway behind the ballroom. Obama immediately followed, waving off security and moving fast. Secret Service agents and Ivanka rushed after them, heels clicking on the concrete floor. The hallway was dim, lit only by flickering fluorescent lights. Pipes ran along the ceiling and the air smelled like old food and cleaning supplies. Barron started fighting back almost instantly. He twisted and pulled against his father's grip, slamming his free hand hard against the concrete wall. The loud smack echoed down the corridor. "I'm not your property," Barron roared, his voice cracking with raw pain. "You don't own me. I'm not your fucking secret anymore." He shoved Trump back with surprising strength. For a few chaotic seconds, they struggled in the tight space, shoulders banging into walls, faces inches apart. Barron's eyes were wild with years of built-up anger finally breaking free. Trump tried to hold on, whispering more threats, but Barron kept pushing and yelling, "Let me go! I want my own life!" Ivanka caught up, breathing hard, her makeup streaked with tears. "Barron, please!" she started, but Obama and the agents were right behind her. Trump didn't waste another second. He dragged Barron through the last door and out into the cold night alley. A black SUV sat waiting with the engine running and the back door open. Trump shoved his son inside with all his strength and slammed the door shut. Barron pressed his face against the rear window as the SUV peeled out. His eyes locked on the alley for one last second, full of heartbreak, rage, and a fierce new determination. Then the car disappeared into the dark New York streets, tires screeching. Trump stood alone in the alley for a moment, straightening his tie and smoothing his hair like nothing had happened. He took a deep breath and walked back into the chaotic ballroom. The place was in total uproar. People were standing, shouting, pointing. Trump marched straight up to Obama, who was waiting near the stage with a calm but furious look on his face. "You'll never get his blood," Trump said coldly, loud enough for the nearby microphones to catch. "It's over. He's gone." Obama didn't raise his voice. He simply picked up a remote and hit a button. The giant screens around the ballroom lit up with crystal-clear security footage from the hallway. Everyone watched Trump dragging Barron, the violent struggle, the yelling, and the final shove into the SUV. The audio played Barron's desperate scream loud and clear. "I'm not your property!" The entire room erupted. People stood up and started booing loudly. Some clapped in disbelief, others shouted in anger. Glasses were slammed on tables. The elegant gala had completely collapsed into chaos. In the middle of it all, Ivanka broke down. She dropped to her knees right in front of the cameras, sobbing uncontrollably, her hands covering her face. The flashes kept going nonstop. Melania still sat motionless at the table, staring straight ahead like a ghost. Obama looked out at the crowd and spoke into the microphone. "Tonight we didn't just lose a DNA sample, we lost a young man who only wanted the truth." The boos grew even louder. Security tried to keep order, but the damage was done. Trump stood there with a tight smile that didn't reach his eyes while the whole world watched his family fall apart in real time. Obama stepped up to a cluster of microphones as reporters pushed forward. Cameras flashed nonstop. "Tonight we didn't just lose a DNA sample," Obama said, his voice steady and strong. "We lost a young man who wanted to be free. Barron Trump deserved the truth, and his own family just kidnapped him to keep it buried. The American people are watching." The words lit up every newsfeed in the country. Reporters yelled questions from all sides while Ivanka was still on her knees crying. Melania hadn't moved. The once glamorous night had collapsed into a national scandal playing out live. Then Obama's secure phone buzzed in his pocket. He stepped away from the crowd and answered the video call. Barron's face appeared on the screen, breathing hard, sitting in the back of the moving SUV. His hair was messy and his eyes were fierce. "Mr. President, I got away from them," Barron said quickly. "I jumped out when the car slowed down at a light. I'm safe for now. I'm going to find a way to do the DNA test myself. I'll make it public. I'm done hiding. Tell everyone I'm not running. I'm fighting." Obama nodded, keeping his voice low. "You don't have to do this alone, Barron." "I know," Barron replied. "But this is my life. My story." For a moment, Barron's voice softened as he looked straight into the camera. "I remember the day I found those old papers in Dad's office. I was 15, medical records from Switzerland, a birth certificate with a different name, and letters from Ivanka talking about protecting the family secret. I knew then something was wrong. I just didn't want to believe it. Tonight I stopped lying to myself." The call ended abruptly as Barron moved to a safer spot. Obama stared at the blank screen for a second, then turned back toward the chaos in the ballroom. The truth was finally breaking free, no matter how hard they tried to stop it. Miles away, the black SUV finally pulled into a quiet, hidden estate outside the city. The gates closed behind it with a heavy clang. Trump stepped out first, then yanked the rear door open. Barron sat there looking straight at his father with cold, steady eyes. Trump reached for his arm again, but Barron pulled back. "This is the last night you control my story," Barron said, his voice low but unbreakable. "I'm getting that test, and when the results come out, the whole world will know who I really am." Trump's face hardened, but before he could answer, distant police sirens echoed through the night, growing louder. Barron stepped out of the car on his own, standing tall under the security lights. The screen slowly faded to black as the sirens got closer, leaving everything hanging on what would happen next. The truth could no longer stay hidden.